There is an understanding in the NBA that Dame's a very valuable piece, and Miami and Milwaukee are the two places to go. But most people, media especially, look at Miami. Maybe it's because the Bucks had a bad season. Maybe it's because it's not a glamorous market. Dame is seen as a big scorer in a scorer's league. Maybe it's because of Riley and Eric Spoelstra. We love Jimmy Butler. Whatever it is, Miami is seen as the place to go. May I suggest, after some homework this morning, Milwaukee. I want to show you a chart. By the start of next NBA season, Dame will be 33 and Jimmy Butler will be 34. Dame's off back-to-back years with some injuries, so he is aging, but he's still a dynamic player. So Dame will be 33 and Jimmy will be 34. So I went back to the last 10 NBA champions, and I looked at their, two best players in the finals. Now, you can argue about some of this stuff, but when I went back and looked at the two best players in the finals, none, we'll put up the chart, had two players in their 30s. Not to mention, none had two players in their mid-30s. One of the older versions was KD at 28 and Curry at 28. Now, LeBron was 35 in the bubble, but Anthony Davis was 28. But if you send Dame, a smaller aging player, to the Bucks, Giannis is 28, Dame is 33, and that fits the championship model. Don't confuse experience with age. Experience is crucial in the playoffs. Age can be a liability. So Miami, also throw this out. Portland's got all sorts of guards. They need Tyler Hero. What they could use is Chris Middleton, a wing, a shooter, with Scoot Henderson, with Anthony Simons. They've got Nurkic. They've got young, really young backcourt talent. What they don't have is a wing that can shoot. Chris Middleton, maybe some picks. So the belief is, Dame and Miami is perfect. The reality is Milwaukee's a better fit and can also give. You could argue, if you wanted to make it work, Drew Holiday and Middleton to Portland for Dame and maybe one of the younger players. But Portland's going to be really young if Dame leaves. That's solvable. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. But Miami can only give them back what they have. Guards. Hasn't wing been an issue with Portland forever? Milwaukee's not as flashy. Maybe it's because they had a very quick exit. Miami doesn't work as well as Milwaukee. A dominant big and a great shooter. You don't need Dame to be a great defender, which he's not, because Giannis is your rim protector. Even if you just move Middleton, Picks, and some other rotational players, Drew Holiday's a great defender. He'd certainly be a perfect fit at times with Dame. I think Milwaukee's the much better play here than Miami. So I'm not a fan of Hard Knocks. I liked it when it first started, but 7 of the last 10 teams on Hard Knocks missed the playoffs. I went back and looked at every team. Now they have a Hard Knocks in the middle of the season, but I went to the preseason Hard Knock teams. I yellowed anyone that missed the playoffs. It's over half the teams. And then a lot of lost in the wild card round. The way I look at it, it doesn't make a bad team good or a good team bad. But if your marriage is already rocky, it'll get you to a divorce attorney. It's not great. And especially with a team that's got a impulsive owner, check Jets. A young coach on the hot seat, check Jets. A prickly older quarterback, new to the franchise, check. Media intensity, New York, check. Really, really tough division, check. Brutal early schedule when you're trying to kind of create inertia and momentum. Check, 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 check. It's less than ideal. It's not going to make a good team bad. But teams do not need HBO. Used to, don't now. You can tell that because head coaches and GMs are begging. not to be on this show. So years ago, I worked at another sports company, 4 letters ESPN. And the president then, George Bodenheimer, nice man, smart guy, created the Longhorn Network because Texas had won a national title. They were very popular. And the initial reaction from the Texas rivals was, this is unfair. This is outrageous. What an advantage. 1 month in, Mac Brown hated it. Mac Brown told anybody close to the program, it's going to drive me out of here. I'm aging by the day. Football's about discretion, deception, being discreet, covert, hiding stuff. It's not about having cameras in meetings. Mac Brown hated it. It ended up being a disadvantage. You had to kind of act differently. I know you don't think you'd act differently if you put cameras all around your marriage or your business, but you would. You'd act differently. You don't want that. You want authentic. You want real. You want honest. Some of this stuff is ugly. I've been in football locker rooms. It's not pretty. I've been in football front offices. There's hard discussions that you do not want on camera. No. And so, again, I don't think it's going to make the Jets, who will be a good team, terrible. But the Jets are already facing young, major question marks on the O-line, the first potentially average to bad O-line of Aaron Rodgers' career. Aaron dealing with young, promising, but young receivers. He can be prickly near the end of his career. Impulsive owners, coach on the hot seat, New York media. I mean, New York media had Buck Showalter. He was like Stephen Hawking a year ago. Now he's a bum. Now he's an idiot. Now they want him gone. It's just different in New York. The intensity, there's multiple sports talk radio stations, half a dozen big columnists and newspaper coverage. It's different in New York. Lived around it for 10 years. Different than even other big cities like Boston and Los Angeles and Detroit and Miami. So I don't like Hard Knocks. Don't like it. I don't think companies or leagues should be in the business of distracting their business partners. All things, good things, must come to an end. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.